Well, good morning, everybody. Time for another episode of Sgt K. And of course, I'm Sgt K. Welcome, everyone. As usual, this one's going to be a little controversial. Don't care. You've heard me say it before, and I'll continue to say it. My show. I'll say what I feel is right, and I invite people to go and check me out and double check me all the time. Don't trust me. Don't trust the media. Don't trust anybody. Investigate things for yourself. That being said, boy, we got a mess going on in this world, don't we? We now have a war involving Israel that is a month old. I had to get my cheaters. And, you know, things just don't get better. But here's the part that gets my craw. This is the part that's aggravating me and making me angry and making it very difficult for me to have any sympathy for Palestine, for Palestinian people, okay? Except for the average Palestinian Joe who really doesn't want any part of this. They just want to go to work in the morning, go home in the evening, spend time with their family, and enjoy life. And they're not getting that opportunity. And neither are Israeli everyday Joes. All right, here it is. We have protests here in the United States, okay? They have protests in the UK. Some of the protests in the UK have gotten violent. For the most part, here in the United States, you have the idiots who are going to stand out there and try and shout people down and tell people they're stupid and tell people they're wrong, which, by the way, doesn't win anybody over to the Palestinian side of things, okay? Waving your Palestinian flags all around doesn't win anybody over. And the majority of it is young people, 20-somethings, 30-somethings. You see a few 40s and 50s in there, but not too many. And you see very few older folks in there, all right? But Palestine, Palestinian people, Palestinian supporters, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? That does not make me a phobe of any kind. So don't even go there. I am not afraid of you. I don't have a phobia of you. I just think you're stupid. Okay, you're over here protesting instead of going back over to Gaza, to your homeland, and trying to be the change for peace that you want to see. But rather than do that, you're going to come here and you're going to use our Constitution. You're not even citizens, okay, in most cases. But you're going to use our Constitution to exercise First Amendment rights to protest against Israel and protest for Palestinian freedom, calling Israelis genocidal, all right? So we get it. We're seeing it on the news. We get it, okay? Tired of hearing it, especially since you cowards are over here protesting instead of going back over there and being the change that you want to see for peace, okay? Sorry, that's cowardice. You're safe. You don't have to worry about Hamas or Israel dropping anything on top of you because you're over here running your mouth, okay, and waving your flags, and, oh, by the way, defacing our country. Defacing our country. That's right. Yeah, you guys and your Palestinian protests were in Washington, D.C., and you painted Free Palestine all over multiple statues and other things in Washington, D.C., the pillars around the White House. You tried to scale the White House walls. You know, if you'd have scaled those walls and the Secret Service got a hold of you, you'd have been in a world of hurt. You'd have been in a world of hurt, and then you'd have sat there and called the United States some kind of whatever name you and some moron college professor are going to dream up, okay? I'm happy to see that colleges are being defunded by some of the groups, but we need to remember something. Palestinians have never been a people of peace. Never. I'm old enough to remember back in 1972 when Palestinians took the entire Israeli Olympic team hostage in Munich, Germany, on German turf. And the German authorities had to go in and handle it. Yeah, look it up. 1972 Olympics, Israel, Palestine. I remember when the Palestine Liberation Organization, or the PLO, kidnapped a girl by the name of Patty Hearst. And they got her to help them hold up banks. And they were trying to extort money from the Hearst family. And there's a history there. There's a history. And this war that started 30 days ago, let me tell you something. You took sewer pipes and you made rockets and launched them at Israel first. You drew first blood. You have taken hostages, some of whom are American, okay? And while I'd like to say our president is a weak wimp, because he really kind of is, we don't know what's happening in the background to get our people back. But you Palestinians bring your crap here. That's right, I said crap, C-R-A-P, let me spell it for you. Bring your crap here to the United States and you start protesting around here and start defacing Washington, D.C. and other places. Look, if you feel that strongly about it, get a ticket, go home, and become the peace you claim you want to see. Because historically, you have never been a peaceful people. Never. And I'm sorry, but Jewish college students should not have to lock themselves into libraries in order to protect themselves from peaceful people. You were trying to mob them. You were trying to hurt them. How is that peaceful? And you look at Hamas like they're freedom fighters. They're not freedom fighters. They're just another terrorist organization that sprang up out of the Palestinian people. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I am tired of Palestinians protesting here in the States. I'm tired of other groups protesting here in the States. Go back to your countries and become the change you want to see. Become peaceful. Vote in or put in place peaceful leaders who are willing to work with other people. But no, you won't do that. Yasser Arafat was not a peaceful person. Benjamin Netanyahu relieved one of his ministers from duty because the guy suggested dropping a nuke on Gaza. Yep, saw that one in the news. And the only reason the news even covered that is because it was something against the Jews. Because the news media is twisted and reporting everything that makes the Jews look bad. Oh, the Jews are committing genocide. But they don't talk about Hamas and the hostages that they've taken and the babies that they've beheaded and the women that they've raped. Peaceful people don't do that. Oh, that's a nice long pause. I'm sure the people listening on Spotify and some of the other audio, but I did that to make a point. Peaceful people don't do that. In my opinion, you guys need to sit down and have a cup of coffee together and a piece of cake and work out your issues. Benjamin Netanyahu at this point's kind of an old guy, okay? But between his military service and being the prime minister of Israel, that man has been fighting Palestinians and dealing with Palestinian crap his entire adult life. That says something. It's time to stop. Take your flag, roll it up, take it on the airplane with you, go back and become the change and the peace that you want to see, but leave the UK, leave the United States, leave Europe, leave everybody else out of it. Go solve your problems without taking sewer pipes that were paid for by somebody else, and then you complain you don't have water. Well, 'cause you're making bombs out of your water pipes, you morons. Yeah, does it sound like I'm irritated? Yes, I'm irritated. I am irritated. I'm tired of the fighting. I'm tired of my Jewish friends having to worry about just walking down the street because the peaceful Palestinians might hurt them. People who had nothing to do with nothing. And you want to call the Israelis Zionists and things like, they're not Zionists, they're defending themselves. You started it. You started it. And all you moron Americans who are taking part in these protests, go back with your friends and become the change you want to see. It's that simple. If you want to come back and visit, or you want to come home and see your family or whatever after you're done, great. But go be the change that you want to see. Don't just protest around the world where nothing is going to change. You can't change Palestinian and Israeli communications and peace in the UK or the United States or anywhere else except there. Denounce Hamas. Pull their weapons out from hospitals. Pull their weapons out of your homes. Stop supporting them. Break ties with Iran, the biggest terrorist supporter on the globe. That's another area where our former president, Mr. Obama, and our current president, Mr. Biden, really shot the world in the foot. But they think they're doing something great. Goes to show you, there's a sucker born every minute. Look, there is always an opportunity for peace, but you got to stop acting like grammar school kids trying to fight out in the schoolyard. Okay, not everybody can be your teacher or the school principal and break things up. You guys got to sit down and work this out. And the Christians are always going to stand with Israel. Spoiler alert, Jesus was Jewish. Jesus was born of the lineage of King David. It's right there. Matthew, 1st chapter, gives the whole lineage. It's right there. So, folks, get your heads out of your duffel bags, knock off the junk, and fix it. Fix it. This is Sgt K. I hope you all have a blessed day. If my podcast today irritates you, I don't care. I don't care, because somebody's got to lay this stuff out and get these people to knock it off. Teaching children to hate, all that's going to do is create generations of hate. And Palestine and Israel, both of you. All that's happening right now is you're destroying the future of your people. You are damaging the future of your people, both of you. But Palestine, I'm going to tell you right now, you started the crap. You started this crap decades ago. Knock it off. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Free Palestine!